Man, I don't care what anyone says. The bass in this song is awesome. It goes so hard. Anyways, hello there friends and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we went here to the Florsheim area, being Florem and Ansheim, and we took down the respective Eternian forces, making them flee to the Duchy of Eternia. For some reason or another, there was a rumored, last stand. I don't know, I didn't really pay attention. But today, we're going to be heading over to Eisenberg, where we're going to be taking down the Black Blades, and then we'll probably head towards what looks to be Vampire Castle as our next destination, and seeing what it has for us there. But first things first, make sure you go talk to Commander Goodman, otherwise you won't have access to Hearthchild for whatever reason you want to go and go there and buy some items or whatnot. No new dialogue or anything like that. Just make sure you talk to him or else you can't have access to Hearthchild. So, real quick, my gear setup. Let's go ahead and go over it real fast. So, ring a bells on Salvemaker. He is also sub-jobbing White Mage. This is mostly so he can play a super powerful support unit with medication, and also a healer if things go horribly wrong. He can cast white magic and get people up to tippy-top shape. He has access to default guard and a lot of defense ups, as I don't want him dying because he's a really good support unit. Agnes is on Red Mage. She has not changed at all, but I'm really afraid to swap her out for anything right now, as this build is very powerful and it has a lot of utility. I don't want to remove it just yet, but trust me, Agnes will get her time to shine in another role here fairly soon. Tiz is on Swordmaster still, but I've swapped his piracy out for Holy Arts, as I'll be spamming Rampart on him with this build, similar to the setup I used against the Crystal bosses in Chapter 7. This is mostly so we can mitigate as much damage as possible. That leaves my only damage dealer being Idia, who's going to be running our Tried and True, you know it, you love it, our Frenetic Fighting, Hawkeye, and Precision Ninja build. This is pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure this is probably the build that's been in the series the longest, and there's nothing new here. But I think this is a pretty solid build. It's not as blatantly overpowered as some of the other builds I've shown off in this series, but I think it's something at least. But I'm not gonna diddy-daddle around the bush. Let's go ahead and go straight to Starkfort, where our first sub-scenario resides.
Let us begin, now that we're all here. I've received orders from the Lord Marshal. He's chosen to wage the final battle in Eternia.
Meaning? We're to abandon Eisenberg?
And after I worked so hard to make a name here.
I'm to take back with me all troops who wish to pull out. That extends to the Black Blades and the Swordbearers too. Barbarossa, remove all cannons and munitions from the ship to make room for as many as we may.
Aye aye, Captain!
I have no doubt the shield bearers will catch wind of this. Expect the pursuit to be fierce.
Great! When's curtain call?
I would assume right now, Praline, as we are hot on your tail. Now, honestly, why did I put hot and Praline in the same sentence? That does not belong together. Anyway, let's go ahead and head straight into Starkfort. And obviously they're at the top floor, so this is going to be a bit of a hike. Real quick, just a quick reminder, there is a blue chest here. It's not easy to miss. Well, it's not hard to miss either. It's right here. Just make sure to grab it. It's pretty useful. Anyway, there's really nothing much to talk about on this trek up to Starkfort, so I will see you at the top floor. Upon second thought, I've actually decided to change my build up a little bit to kind of mirror the build I used for the Sky Knights. As I was walking up Starkfort, which, to be fair, was not a very long walk, I just was thinking about this next encounter, which, while I am not entirely afraid of, I have been dreading for a little bit. And I think going with this fairly powerful build, it might be my best option. So we'll go ahead and head upstairs and see how this does.
The wounded have been moved aboard the airship.
So, how many troops are we taking back to Eternia?
Of the Black Blades, 121. And of the Sword Bearers, 78.
Out of the 4,000 sword bearers here, less than 80 elected to join us?
And from the 2,000 Black Blades at the war's outbreak, a mere 120. How our numbers have dwindled.
We're under attack! It's Commander Goodman of the Shield Bearers! He leads a force of some 30,000! And his officers, Steiner and Neuer, are each leading forces 10,000 men strong!
A total of 50,000? That's ludicrous!
Seems the entire Shield Bearers force has come to see us off. I'd not expected them so soon. Very well. I shall take 100 of the Black Blades who can still fight.
And do what, pray tell?
Deliver a parting farewell to the good Commander Goodman.
They have 500 times your number!
You underestimate the Blade's prowess. One may not stand alone against 500, but there are things 100 can do against 50,000. Besides, we needn't wipe them out. I aim only to buy the time to retreat. Barbarossa, you've command till I return. Stay sharp. My student knows to seize any chance she's given.
Aye, Captain! Don't keep us waiting long! Right, boys! Get the rest of those troops aboard! Anything you don't need gets left behind!
Yes, sir! It's the vessel and her groupies!
The captain wasn't jesting! He's taught this one too well for my liking! Welcome, daughter of the Grand Marshal! And you, Lady Vestal. Your crew is looking well. A pity we're in the midst of a pullout. I fear we can't offer much in the way of hospitality. But there's always some time for a bit of fun. Hayreton Barbarossa, First Mate of the Black Blades, First Division of the Eternian Forces. Till such time as our captain returns, you'll face me. Now fight, you scallywags!
Yes, we don't have that much in the way of hospitality, so we're just going to beat the crap out of you. I like the way that Barbarossa thinks. Anyway, so fighting all members of the Black Blades, except for Kami Izumi, together is a pretty dangerous combination, as we have some very powerful support units and very strong physical attack units. Praline is the person you want to focus on the most here, as she will be focusing on being a BP battery for the rest of her allies, spamming one more for you, and love power, increasing their physical attack power, as well as increasing the amount of BP that they have, allowing them to act more frequently. So you have to play this very careful, as you want her down as soon as possible, but unfortunately, she has a little bit of HP, and because of how much everyone else is going to be throwing attacks at you, you have to find very small windows of opportunity to actually deal what you want to do. Thankfully, I have access to two very powerful AoE abilities here. Now, I will say this. Looking at Kata, I've normally said that you want to either save him for last or focus him down within one turn. I won't exactly be doing that, so I'll need to be worried about Kata's Dark Breath spamming, but hopefully it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Hopefully? But we'll see what happens. Kikyo and Barbarossa are fairly similar, having very powerful physical attacks that allow them to pretty much control the battlefield. And it's not very difficult for them to just immediately kill one of your teammates without much issue. Ideally, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, ideally, I can get this done in 2 turns. Not looking like that right now. So instead, we're going to have to kind of fix this up. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Stillness for right now, so we can just still out and fix this right now. We're gonna have Agnes go ahead and raise Idea, and Tiz is gonna go ahead and just get rid of that poison on him. There we go. Cast Stillness. We're going to just cease everything, just so we can get everything in order. And once all of our problems have been set and fixed, we can then go on the offense. There's my hero, giving everyone BP. We're going to go ahead and have Ringabel cast his Enigma. That way, we can completely nullify dark damage that we're about to throw. And then... okay, we have 1 turn. We've got to fix this somehow. We're going to go ahead and have Agnes brave a few times here. We're going to have her cast Re-Raise. And then I think I'm going to have her cast Cura. It's just a very simple heal. It won't heal Idia all the way, but that's okay. And then we're going to have him default for this turn. Actually, no. For Agnes, we're going to have her brave 1 more time. We're going to have her cure everyone. We're going to have her cast Haste to get Idia back on the field. And then we'll have her cast Re-Raise because I'm sure something is going to go wrong. And then Tiz... how's his speed looking? 109, 98. Let me see how well that does next turn. We're going to speed things up. Shiba Jinrai is going to do nothing. Okay, we're fairly healthy. We're not, an amazing spot, but it's something. Dark Breath is going to do nothing to us. No damage, thanks to that. No poison. High Potion will still do poison, but that's okay. Okay, my hero, again, look at that BP. They're all stacking up BP. Praline needs to go down now. Now, let me look here. 147 versus 109. Okay, yeah, so she'll go first, for sure. Alright, so we're going to have Tiz go ahead and spam Dark Nebula. This is... actually, no, not spam it. We're going to have him do it once and then cast Mimic, so we don't have to worry about him dropping his HP. And then Idea is going to go ahead and cast Fire... we'll give her Drain, so she heals herself. Then we'll have her cast Firestorm. And then we'll have her cast... a bunch of Earthquakes. There they are. Earthquake. Okay, this should be enough to take down at least 1 member of the Black Blades. Firestorm. Okay, that's everyone's defense down. Now we just start spamming Earthquake. Again, Praline is our main target here. We try to take her down as soon as possible. But once 1 member of the Black Blades is down... okay, we didn't take down any of them. That's not good. Thankfully, we have Re-Raise. Now, the question becomes whether or not our buffs last long enough. They do. Okay. Then we're gonna go... let's do 1 more. We'll do 1 more Dark Nebula and then Mimic it. This will put Tiz at -2, but hopefully this might be enough. Shiba Jinrai, that's okay.
Pardon my delay. Down this many already?
I can take no more.
All brawn and no brains. Clear the way, you oaf. Wounds such as these are nothing for my miracle salves.
Now, it was a little difficult to talk about it, but once 1 member of the Black Blades is down and out, Kamizumi will join in the combat. Unfortunately, we might be down here. Okay. Tiz, what's your speed looking like, buddy? 73. I think we might be down and out for this match, but real quick, we're going to try desperately to get back into the combat here. Kata's our only real threat. And hey, I mean, we've got 8 Mega Elixirs. Might as well use one. Water of Life. Okay, cool. We're in the clear here. Wow, this fight has pushed this team to its absolute limit. Now, I was playing it pretty greedy, but that just shows you how well these officers synergize with each other. And unfortunately, we have to deal with a wounded Kata who will use Dark Breath at any point to put us down and out, which is really unfortunate. And Kamizumi, who is a very powerful threat. So I would say for right now, let's just cast Stillness and hope for the best. We're gonna cast Haste on our team as well. And hopefully, we can sort of recover this. Dark Breath shouldn't do anything to us because we're in Stillness. And so, hopefully, we don't really have that much of a problem fixing this. Kata is in the negative, so we have one turn to figure this out. I would suggest we just send Anius into the negative, and we just boost ourselves as much as possible. Re-Raise came in super handy right there. So we're going to go ahead and cast a spell on the opponent right there to remove their Water of Life, maybe forcing Kata to use it again, and then we're going to cast Protect. Re-Raise is mostly there to get rid of to heal up from Dark Breath if it goes awry. But hopefully we don't have to worry about that, as we're going to begin setting up for next turn and hopefully finishing this fight off naturally. No thine enemy, that's fine, because we're not going to be attacking this turn. Yep, Kata's going to waste a turn using Water of Life. Perfect. We can then cast Enigma on Ringabel, who is fast enough. He's faster than Tiz, and that's what matters. So we can begin preparing. Technically, he could do Rage, but we'll just spam Dark Nebula as it will hit both of them. And we're casting Enigma anyways. And then we have Edea cast our Firestorm on all enemies. And then, why not? We'll just have her spam Firestorm as it's fairly cheap. And try to finish this off. Kata's defaulting, which might not be the best thing, but it should still be enough damage to maybe finish him off. Yep.
I'll not die here. I'm pulling back.
And thus it's just Kamizumi. Oh my goodness, this was a tough fight. But it probably won't be long until he goes down. Dark Nebula should be able to finish him off in time.
Foolish child! To expect it to end so easily.
Yeah, kinda. But you're proving to be a lot tougher than I thought you would be, Kamizumi. I'm gonna be honest here. You might be able to take her down. Yeah, he's going straight for Edea. Took her down twice. Okay, then we're gonna have to raise her. And we'll go ahead and pop re-raise on her as well. Thankfully, we've got steady MP recover, so Anius' MP has not really been... oh, wait, I don't have steady MP recover. Whatever. Okay, Tiz's turn. We can just... 2 rages actually should be more than enough. Oh, wait, I can't do 2 rages. Because I'm at 0 BP, of course. Okay, then Dark Nebula, Mimic. Okay. Can we finally finish this fight?
So, this is it. Rest is up to Brave now.
You know, it came at the sacrifice of Edea, but hey, we don't get EXP for this anyways. So, the Black Blades encounter. Honestly, if you wanted to do this fight in any way legitimately, you need to bring Stillness. Stillness will save you from so much. Focus down Praline as soon as you can, or else you are going to be in for a world of hurt. Use Stillness to buy you time to build up your defenses and lower theirs. And then hit them with everything you got after that. Turbo Ether and Elixir obtained.
Captain, our troops are safely aboard.
All present and accounted for.
Aye, only 2 injured against 50,000 men. You're a tough old dog to be sure, Captain.
The enemy did not expect a counterattack. No sooner did we strike than they turned and fled. Their casualties scarce outnumber our own. We did little more than sow a little chaos.
You say that as if it were a simple feat. I expect their commander is cursing up a storm about now.
Let's leave him to it. Set a course for home.
Are you sure, Captain? No parting words for your old student?
As I said, she's quick to seize a chance. We'll see her soon enough in Eternia.
What I think Kikyo means to say is, hurry up, you two!
All right then, off we go.
And once again, another member of the Eternian forces has retreated to Eternia. Poor Edea. Didn't even get to see off her master. I mean, she was on the ground, kind of unconscious, so I don't blame Kamizumi for just being like, she has to get up anyways, I'm not gonna wait for her. But that is our time here in Stark Fort done. Let's go ahead and just cast Teleport to get out of here. I completely forget that this is even a spell. I buy teleport stones to use them, and then I have Anyas on Time Mage for most of the playthrough, and I just completely forget that she has that ability. Regardless, I think we should pay a quick trip over to Eternia, as this is where our second part of today's video will be taking place. As we do have a nice little sub-scenario over at Vampire's Castle. Still nothing for Central Command, so we'll need to check this place out first. Now, I doubt the entirety of the Council of Six will be convening at Vampire Castle, but I'm sure it won't be more than it'll be more than just Eroso, right? In terms of my build, I feel like I should probably switch Tiz out for something else. So I probably will. I'm actually gonna go ahead and adjust this just a little bit, as I know what I'm going up against, and I need to make sure that I have preparations made for it properly. Okay, so with the Black Blades out of the way, I'm actually going to go ahead and go with a little bit of what I was originally going to showcase, with Tiz with Holy Arts, and Edea back on Ninja with Frenetic Fighting and whatnot. The biggest thing that I have chosen to showcase this time around, it's not exactly new, but I'll be bringing Hasten World into this next encounter. And on Ring-a-Bell of all people, and he's Spirit Master. I'm sure you can understand where I'm going with this. A Hasten World Stillness strategy is in the works this time around. Now, I did say that I kind of consider this to be a really cheesy strategy, but I think this next fight is worthy of it. The previous fight I also think is pretty worthy of a Hasten World Stillness strategy, but I wanted to at least try to do it legitimately. But anyways, our next sub-scenario is over at Vampire Castle, so that's where I'll see you next. Okay, so no grand opening for the Vampire Castle, huh? Alright, well, let's see what's inside.
Just as cold as before.
Really? Nothing, Deroso? Nothing at all? Okay. Well, if you want to look at the paintings, I have plenty of videos covering the paintings. So, go right ahead. I'll be leading myself right up to the top floor of Vampire Castle, and I will see you there. Okay, that took a little longer than I wanted it to, but hey, I'm at the top of the Vampire Castle, and of course, Lester Deroso is here waiting for us. So, let's say hi.
I commend you for making it this far. The final painting lies beyond this throne. I shall reveal it to you if you defeat me in battle.
You're referring to the angel painting.
Precisely. You know much that has yet to happen, my friends. The last test is a test of strength. I shall only reveal the painting to those whom I deem worthy. One might also say that there is no need for those who are unworthy to lay their eyes upon it. But be forewarned, I am a formidable foe. I trust you are well prepared.
Let's hope that the painting has something new for us, because otherwise, showing our worth for it doesn't really amount to much. But regardless of that, let us do battle.
Having fun without me? Make room! Make room!
Sage, I trust you to contain yourself. Dreary as it is, I prefer my castle standing.
We're within the asterisk barrier. Absolutely impervious. In theory, at least.
What?
What is exactly right? Why did the old geezer Sage have to drop down? Now we have to fight not one, but two old geezers. So, the old friends, Lord DeRosso and Yuliana, put together is actually a pretty dangerous duo. Unlike the Victor Lord DeRosso encounter, this one you have to manage both very powerful physical attacks and magic attacks. Which is why I have decided to adopt the Stillness, Haste, and World strategy for this encounter, as I really hate fighting Yuliana legitimately. So we're going to go ahead and speed everyone up with haste and slow down these old men with, well, slow. That way we have a pretty safe way of making sure that we can get all of our turns off first. Make sure that Ring-a-Bell is faster than the bosses, but also slower than anyone who you want dealing decent damage, like Idia, who's my main attacker. Tiz is going to be casting Rampart. Now you may be like, why do you have Rampart in a Stillness, Haste, and World strategy? Well, it's mostly because I am very paranoid that I am absolutely going to get energy blasted as soon as Stillness wears off, somehow, some way, and I want to have that as a safety net. It's just absolute paranoia on my part, but I really want to have it. Stillness, okay, it worked out. Nothing can hurt us now. Ideally, we can go for the unscathed bonus. But if you're not doing this, let me go ahead and briefly talk about what these two guys can do. Honestly, my best word of advice here is to completely destroy Yuliana as soon as humanly possible, as he will be a pain in the keister with his buffs and invocations. Figure out a way to put him down as soon as possible, whether it is using a quick strategy, taking him down, casting magic to just completely destroy him. Just put him down as soon as possible. Because otherwise, you're going to struggle a lot. Lord DeRosso is perfectly manageable as long as your defenses are fairly high, as Energy Burst is really the only thing that's holding you back. Honestly, you can cast Stillness and be perfectly okay against his Energy Burst. It's really Yuliana that's the problem here. So, play it safe and take down Yuliana as soon as possible. Everyone else comes second. I guess really it's only DeRosso, as there's only two people on the field right now. But the plan is here to just do the Stillness strategy I used against Yuliana last time. Because I'm a coward. And I really do not like fighting this old man. If it was not clear enough already. We're going to go ahead and slow everyone again. And then we're going to cast another quick. Maybe I can get it out in time. But if not, that's okay. Idia will still do some pretty impressive damage against DeRosso anyway, who's weak to light. Yep, she's going first. Let's speed things up. There's really nothing else for us to do here.
Take far more than that to make me kneel.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but there's really not much else for us to do here, because they're not going to hurt us at all. So we're just going to just rip them apart as much as we can and hope for the best. Okay, so there go. Thankfully, our Rampart is pulling its weight. We're going to have Ring-a-Bell actually go ahead and cast Fairy's Aid, as I want to have that extra amp, so we don't have to worry about casting our Quick again. And we have Idia default. There we go, get the Rampart going. Amp Strike, nothing's gonna work here. This strategy works for pretty much every encounter in the game, by the way, which leads me to the idea, okay, it leads me to a very important query that a lot of people have with this game. Most people that I talk to are not a fan of the late game of Bravely Default because it really kind of forces you to play with cheese strategies, or at least they think it does. And, I mean, looking at this encounter, I can totally see why people think that. I mean, this strategy works on pretty much every single boss fight, and it's super good.
Stronger even than I'd expected. I leave them to you.
Oh, well, that was fast. Starting to show your age?
I don't know, Yoyana, you're not far behind him. Anyway, I can totally understand why people believe that this game kind of forces you to employ cheat strategies in order to win. Especially looking at that previous encounter we had with the Black Blades. I was using a pretty powerful team composition, all things considered, and I still had to end up utilizing a Mega Elixir. Honestly, I do sort of agree that this game recommends that you do some pretty interesting strategies in order to obtain the result that you want. But I really don't think that's a bad thing. I think really the most sad thing about this is that it's really, really easy to exploit this game's systems. Now, I have a lot of fun breaking this game in two with overpowered strategies, but I can totally understand why some people might be put off the fact that you kind of have to break the game in order to beat it. But honestly, I'm okay with that because it allows you to experiment with jobs and to see how far you can push them. And if you can utilize every job in the game to some extent, which every single job in this game is pretty viable, and you can make a pretty busted strategy with any of them. And honestly, if breaking the game is the level that the developers want you to be at this point in the game, which is Chapter 8, I'm okay with that. As, I mean, realistically, you're probably going to be breaking the game already. If you have a fundamental understanding about this game's combat system, it's pretty much broken already. So, I don't know. I don't think it's really that big of a deal, but I understand why people might be put off on it.
Do not think you'll vanquish me with the likes of that. I have met my match. Farewell.
And those two are down. But continuing what I was talking about, you don't have to cheese your way through every single encounter. This Stillness Hasten World strategy is not required to beat this game. Trust me, even on the hardest difficulty. While Stillness is a very, very powerful tool, and I highly recommend it, there are still some fights that will push you to your absolute limit. And you'll have to be clever enough to get out of them. 2 Turbo Ethers for our troubles. No Mega Elixir, unfortunately.
I am a man of my word. Behold, the final painting.
I swear, De Rosso, if you say the exact same lines, like, as soon as right off the bat, I'm going to flip!
Lord De Rosso's angel paint.
It's as he said.
Yep. Chapter 8's no different. We already know exactly what's going on in that painting. But I think that's a good stopping point for today. We had a pretty tough fight. Probably one of, if not the hardest fights we've seen so far. And a pretty easy one, all things considered, despite the fact that we cheesed the hell out of it. But if you look on screen, we have one new sub-scenario for us, and that is at Central Command. We have a very daunting task ahead of us with that one. And I think for right now, we're going to take a break from hanging out with the Eternians. And we'll go and awaken the crystals next time. I think it'll be nice to take a small break, come back with a fresh mind, go save the world, you know, before we deal with our final battle against the Eternian forces. They seem to be raring up for something really dangerous, so we'll need to be on our A game. But, with all of that said, we can chill out, and, well, I mean, chill out, Eternia, sorry, that, whoop, look a squirrel. We can chill out, and I'll see you soon.